Music has been created that you guys have been hearing lately. My guitars and some other instruments, my violin, tambourine, everything done on the keyboard. And right now I have a song that I'm working on playing in the background because I'm trying to be inspired. But this particular video is about getting my ghost gear ready to go to Pennhurst Asylum just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I had to turn my music down a little bit. So my phone is on a tripod thing that I just got, so I can set it up and let it record while we are at the place. So I have a lot of people that have been asking me, you know, what kind of ghost gear we have and what we take with us. So I just wanted to do a quick review. I have some old school and new school stuff. This is my Kodak camera, which is great for instant pictures to see if there's anything in a room. Where the Polaroid comes out right away. I know these are like hard to come by, and film to go with it, so I always keep that handy when we go. This is our thermal gun, and if I click on it, it'll tell us what the temperature is, if there are any changes in temperature, so you can watch something go up or down. And I find that handy for when you think you feel a cold spot in the room. I have a laser pen that I use. It creates a grid on the wall, and you can see if shadows pass in and out of the area. You will clearly see that something is obstructing the grid if something walks in between you and the wall, and it can adjust the grids. I usually keep it on something like this, so we can see if something walks by. And this little thing right here is the tripod, so that I can stick that in here. It's a little wonky. So I'm gonna set it up real quick so you can see. I got this because the button does not hold itself down. You actually have to physically hold it yourself, and that's a pain in the butt if you're doing an investigation. So that gets set up and left to kind of guard the room while we're doing what we're doing. So I'm gonna show you, looks like the battery is brand new, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I think the button is a little, I haven't got it quite situated yet. Okay, so I'll put my arm there so you get an idea of what it looks like if something passes. The Cokes, they're mandatory this time because we are stopping in Philadelphia on the way there and getting a steak and cheese from Philly. And if you haven't had a Philadelphia steak and cheese, let me tell you now, there's absolutely nothing like it. Nothing compares to the steak and cheese I've had in Philadelphia, legit. So I also have, this is body mist, but this is for prosperity. But that's not the one that's important. The one that's important, this is frankincense and myrrh, and I've got a sage spray somewhere. It's funny, I thought that's what I had here, but it is not. But I have a spray sage that I take with me. I also wear hematite, which is good for keeping negativity away. And then I also wear black tourmaline, which is good for keeping away negativity as well. I have an old school bell, which I ask them to ring. So if we hear it ring in another room or something, that's an indicator. I also take a compass that if you get into a strange area where, I don't know, energies are strange, this compass can not measure where you're at or kind of go crazy and point in the wrong direction. So I like to keep that. I have a digital voice recorder that I ask questions and record, and then I can go back and hook it up to my computer. It's got a port, and I can load it in and use one of my programs to go through anything that I have on there, see if there's any anomalies. I'm going to take this out of here because I'm not putting it back right. And I don't feel like fighting with it on camera. Okay. Over here, I just take backup batteries because when you're on investigation, I can tell you for sure, batteries tend to get drained quickly for no apparent reason, even though I've just changed out the batteries and everything here. Definitely taking spare batteries for all of the gadgets. I also take a black light, and I use this for areas where they say there may have been violence or some kind of bloodshed, and I just use that to check the area to see if there are any bodily fluids in the area. And then a regular flashlight, and sometimes I use this and just sit it down and say, you know, feel free to have the flashlight go in and out if you'd like to communicate. Flash once for yes, two for no. I don't like when, this is just for you people that watch ghost shows. The thing that really drives me absolutely bonkers about ghost shows is when people say or ask a question and something happens and they say, oh, I'll take that as a yes. That is complete garbage. If you really want to do a ghost investigation and you want to communicate with something and see whether it's an intelligent communication or whether it's residual or whatever, I don't consider something happening to be an affirmative that you're getting an answer. You need to have communication and a clear way to communicate yes or no. And I notice a lot of the ghost shows tend to ask open-ended questions or questions that they're wanting a yes for. So every time something happens, they go, oh, yes, yes, yes. So that is not a good way to do a ghost investigation. It's leading and it's garbage. So enough of that. Also for the laser pen, there's some different adjustments so I can change how they look if I choose to. An extra pair of headphones in case I need to hear something very clearly. We have an EMF detector, and these can change, of course, depending on where you go. When you're around electrical outlets, these will go off. When you're around wiring, sometimes these will go off. So I like to use them in a spot and put them down if I think there's a high energy area, and let it sit there. And if you notice that it changes without it being moved or relocated or anything else going on around it, I like to use that as that there might be something here and then pull out additional equipment. So this can be just an aid to help you know if you're in a good spot. And recently we got a pair of headphones, and this little thing right here, this is called the Estes method, and you'll see ghost people do this on some of the ghost shows. The headphones go with the radio. It scrolls through radio frequencies and you will hear words. So it's got a bunch of charging cords and all that mess, but I want to show you what's inside. Here, this is what's inside. This is I should really use my flashlight so you guys can see. It scrolls through frequencies and you'll hear words, and you'll see these on ghost shows too. So you put the headphones on, and Brandy and I take turns when we go to haunted places. And this weekend we are going to Pennhurst Insane Asylum, just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we are doing an overnight tour there. We have access to the entire property, including the tunnels. That's the part that I'm most excited about. If you are an American Horror Story fan, season 2, called Asylum, was based off of Pennhurst Insane Asylum and just outside of Philadelphia. They would put the bodies in the tunnel, and then they would go into like miners' carts, and they would go down to the grounds so that the people could bury them. Also, I have these little finger things. I like to use these because they're pretty easy to manipulate. So if you push, there's a little button on here. I don't think you can really see it. But if you push it up, it stays on, and it's good for putting on my fingers when I have my hands occupied and I don't want to hold the flashlight at the same time. But also, if you kind of put it, you can adjust it to not fully be on, like kind of put it in the middle. And I like this for the, can you, asking a ghost, can you mess with this and make it go on and off, flash it once for yes, twice for no sort of thing. And I have one for each finger, and that helps me to be able to see and not have my hands tied up. What else do I have here? Oh, okay. So I have a couple of things charging right now, but one thing we also do is we take an old style digital camera. Oh man, look at that. So old style digital camera for pictures, because I don't like my phone to always be busy when I'm doing something. And then, excuse me, we're gonna walk through my not very clean house. I have a FLIR camera that's charging right now, and it's almost charged. So this is an infrared, actually. And so what'll happen is it shows, I'm gonna unplug it and see if I can get it to show you. It'll show warm spots. Of course, I can't get it to work at the moment. I don't want to pause this because I don't know how to do this. That's supposed to be the power button, but let's not get me in there. Okay. So, yeah, I wanted you to see what's happening here. So this measures temperature changes. When you're in dark rooms, this comes in super handy. So nothing's really like popping out. You can see temperature, but when I go to the TV and the devices that are plugged in, you can see that they're warm. The computer is warm. The table area where I have all the electronics is a little on the warm side. And then outside it's cooler. So I just wanted you to get a chance to see what that does. It's good for seeing handprints, and I'm gonna put this thing down for a second, so forgive me. I was not prepared to do this properly. That's okay, live and learn. So anyway, it's good for if you think you see or hear anything, if you feel a touch, if you're on a wall and you think you feel a touch. We like using the thermal camera to verify if something has touched a wall. You might see maybe a handprint, or you might see a cold shadow show up on there as a very cold spot when the rest of the room is not cold. So there's a lot of things that you can use that to verify. So I think at the moment that's all we've got. It's a fair amount of stuff. I do not have a REM pod yet. It is on my list of stuff to get. And there's something else that I want, but I can't remember what it is right off the top of my head. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a quick little summary of the stuff that we take with us, and feel free to ask questions. Bye. Hello, everybody.